people are moving towards cloud, this is one of the important skill which we need to be take care. End of the day, what we need in reality in our life, we need three things. We need good position, good salary, surviving in the industry. So definitely little learning is very important. At any stage, we need to learn something. So even you ask personally from my perspective, every year I have some goals. So in reality, my personal goal itself, in my life, every year we even myself define some goals to learn. So so now that's what, surviving part overall, and learning, good designation, good earning. That's overall the objective for every IT guy. So on top, AZ-104 Azure admin. When people are moving towards from on-premises to Azure, 104 is the key skill in reality, where you can manage your cloud admin role, managing virtual machines, storage, network, doing IAM permissions. The complete administration track is covering under your AZ-104, including identity, how we give permissions to the resources, all those stuff. And in that perspective, from the key topic perspective, identity is talking about how any user into the cloud log in and access the permission, mainly with Azure AD or Entra ID, how we give a RBAC permissions, how we do a governance policies, Azure policies, how we do the compliance stuff, how we manage Azure resources, PowerShell, portal, template, Azure administration comes up. Then we talked about virtual networking, how to manage VNet, uh, and then peering, how to do connectivity, VPN stuff between on-premises to Azure, load balancer stuff, storage. Storage also have lots of things inside. How we manage Azure virtual machines, backup, how we do, day-to-day administration tasks, adding a disk, password reset, and high availability for a VM, all those stuff. Then basics of container, then backup, data protection, and finally monitoring. So this is Microsoft official drive or driven outline. So properly we are including into this 104 with complete hands-on. So from exam perspective, I'll do a little zoom as well. So you see governance, identity, it's almost 20 to 25% the exam coverage. So it means that much portion or percentage we are covering in Microsoft exam uh, related to this area. And so if you have 50 question, assume roughly, so 20-25% comes from this particular study area. Storage 15%, compute, deploy, manage, networking 20%, and backup monitoring last 10%. So that will be the overall objective of the exam for 104 Azure admin track. The second question is security track, and then we will see how we can leverage both together, and then I'll take one small technical topic as well. So 5000 is your security track. So if we are going to manage complete security portfolio in Azure, AZ-500 is for that. And security is the domain which we are mainly more focused as a InfoSec as a company. We are running 100 plus other security courses as well. And I'm part of this cloud security, Azure security. So, and security never comes down. It always be there, always required. Till the time we are in this world, IT is there, security always be there. So, so in that, Microsoft says there are four portion of area which we are focused on as an exam objective. One is identity, complete Azure AD hybrid security, then platform, including your firewall, NSGs, DDoS, complete network, storage. That's called portion number two. Portion number three is security operations, monitor, alerts, incidents, and finally encryption, key vault, application security, all those stuff. All is your portion number four. So overall, AZ-500 divide into four track. Myself, I have done AZ-500, sorry, AZ-533 track. I have done AZ-103, 104, AZ-500. I have done AZ-700 networks. So lots of 35 exams I have done so far in my life in Microsoft. And here we are starting with Entra ID, identity protection, privilege identity management, governance, hybrid, perimeter security, network security, host security, container security, key vault, application security, storage security, database security, finally monitor, security center, and sentinel. So that will be the flow overall topic wise for AZ-500. So now we have a very fair idea what is 104 is a administration track, AZ-500 is your security track. And exam details, roughly 500, recently they increased the total number of questions. So duration also increased a little bit now. And in India, it's like right now, I think $55, $60, in India. So we will see more details here. And now for whom this AZ-104 is very important and for whom AZ-500 is important. So definitely any person who is in IT, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 15 years, even I have seen 20 years experienced people. Definitely people are moving towards cloud. 104 admin track is very important for everyone. So anybody who is moving towards Azure, 104 is key skill for them. And 500 is intended for security on top. So somebody coming from a security background, one example, 500 is for them. Somebody coming from admin background, 104 plus enhancement on their skill, 500 combination is good for them. So altogether, as you know, 500 is totally depend on the security track. So both are very, very, very applicable for all IT guys. So either you are coming from a background or career and advancement, both it's applicable. And that's the objective. Now the very important question is, I'll just reduce this font size. How we do the balance between admin track and security track. And this is I have written, specifically, So we know our responsibilities. When we join any role, they hire me for admin. Sometimes they hire me for security. Sometimes admin and security together. So we have a different roles. And how we do the balancing stuff. I'll take one simple example. We built the VM, right? If we build the VM, uh, definitely we build the network, virtual network. It's very simple. But networking, VNet security definitely comes here, network security. So you see the balancing now. Without understanding of the little admin track, security becomes a little difficult. It means we should know how it works, how we manage them, and on top, then we implement the security best practices. So it means boundaries are very narrow in my opinion. Gap is very limited, less. I've seen, implementing VNet and the security both work little closely, some and very close, and the gap is very less. And without admin knowledge, security become, very difficult. That's why both work together. And second, in reverse order, I'm coming from a 20 years experience security background, and I have many attendees, to whom we trained or I trained as well on the security Azure. They don't know the admin track, so then it's become little difficult, So we need to teach the basic first and then come into the security. So you see, overall, the gap between admin and security is very less, and in real world, it work together very close. And 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 in very few cases, it's little overlap, but mostly work very close relationship between admin and security. So that's called we do. Now I'll take one small topic, uh, related to security, and the topic is how to connect Azure VM securely. So I want to build a VM. So what I have done, I built one virtual network. I have defined 10.0.0.0 address range. In Azure, we called as address space. Here my subnet 1. Here my subnet 2. Subnet 1 is my jumpbox subnet. I will explain what is jumpbox. Subnet 2 is my prod subnet. Jumpbox subnet I have done 10.0.0.0/24. And here I have done 10.0.1.4.10. So you see, overall range 10.0.0.0, 10.0.1.0. If I build my first VM here, first three IPs are reserved. So first valid IP is IP number 404. And here I got second VM IP14 because I'm a part of one subnet. So virtual machine VNet give you like a DSCP kind of, which gives IP address to the VMs. And as a best practice, we always divide small chunks. Tomorrow, I am deploying a firewall. So subnet 3 is a dedicated for the firewall. So like that, we add on the subnet stuff and we put security on top. Now my main two topics as a technical here is what is Jumpbox and what is Bastion host. Two topics and small demo. So first I'll tell you normal way, when I deploy a VM in Azure, if I'm not deploying uh, as a best practice way, kind of, what do you say? Then it has two IPs. One is a red IP and one is a green IP. Red IP we called as public IP and green IP I called as a private IP. So public IP means you are sitting anywhere in the world, you can connect with the RDP with the public IP across over internet. In this case, there is a negative. There is a bad guy can do some DOS attack, some attack. So logically says public IP should not be allowed for the production machines in reality. Indirectly, all connection has to be established through the private IP. That's always be one of the best practice. Example. Now, how we achieve this, or indirectly, how we connect all my Azure VM through a private IP. So I go to my OneDrive, InfoSec. We have done so many classes for this. We do always lab InfoSec, day-wise labs are ready. Now I'll go to diagrams. And here there is a slide. Connect Azure VMs securely. So when I say connect Azure VM securely, one is the VPN. I have my on-premises network, my router, my virtual network, and build a router in Azure, and we do some VPN stuff or express route. You know, that could be one of the solution. We will see later stage. One solution is cloud only. In Azure, we have a solution called Jumpbox and Bastion Host. What is Jumpbox? One dedicated subnet. I built VM with public IP, and that is not my production machine. All my production machine is in different subnets. All have a green IP. Green IP, green no public IP, red means public IP. So anyone connect to the non-production machine, and from non-production machine, they connect with the privately RDP into RDP. Over the internet, nobody can connect my green machines. What is the best way? Nobody can do any attack on these green machines, you know. It's good. Let them do attack something if they want. I'm not worried. For that also we have a DOS protection, you know, on top. Second is my Bastion subnet. So what is my Bastion subnet? I deploy a service in Azure. Name is Azure Bastion service. It needed a dedicated subnet, A caps, B caps, S caps. Azure Bastion subnet with /26 as a range. This is having a public IP, this service. Any admin connect to the portal, kickstart TLS session 443. Through this Bastion service, it connects the VM 3389/22. And good news is there is a no public IP involved in these machines. So it's a secure web session. Admin will get it through the Bastion host, and it all session will be HTTPS session. That's an alternative way to connect Azure VM, and both I'm going to show you live. So I'm into my resource group. I'm creating my network in my West US. Resource group 01 webinar. Today is 18th Jan 2025. Go to the network, virtual network, left side. Create a virtual network. Select a resource group, West US, VNet 01. Security, nothing right now. IP address 10.0.0.16. You decide how much you want. If you need /8 or /24, total number of IPs. So /16 is okay, 65,000 IPs roughly. And subnet 1 is already there. I'm going to delete this subnet and add a subnet. So subnet number 1, subnet 01, Jumpbox. Overall range 10.0.0.60/24 is my subnet 1. Subnet 2 is my prod subnet. 10.0.1.0. Please make a note, you see, 0.0.1.0. Third subnet I'm doing Bastion subnet. It automatically created a name A caps, B caps, S caps /26 2.0. So 3 subnets I have. You see? But I'll give you this heads up information. So if I build my first VM here, 10.0.0.4 and public IP also there. And this VM is 10.0.1.4 and there is a no public IP. Let's do it. Create a virtual machine. Windows 10, West US, Jumpbox, JPVM, B2MS, username and password. RDP allowed, license. And under networking, I'll make sure this is in subnet number 1, Jumpbox, and with public IP. Review and create. Second VM, prod VM, same Windows 10, B2MS, some password. Because this is my prod VM, so very important, I'm saying public IP, public port inbound RDP not allowed. First change, over internet, public inbound none. On the networking, I'll make sure it's in my subnet number 2. And second, I'll make sure public IP none. And the way how they comes in, the public IP is also none. Nothing. Done. Next, jump box, one public IP land, and then RDP into RDP. We'll show you the result. Next is Bastion host. I search a service, Bastion. It's a native service, Azure service. Bastion enables seamless, secure RDP SSH in a browser without using public IP. So I selected my VNet name, Vikas Kumar, simple Kumar Jumpbox. Sorry, not Jumpbox, Kumar Bastion host. Which region? West US. What tier? Standard and premium. Definitely premium have little extra connection points. Standard is okay. This Bastion host linked with which network? My VNet. And second, which subnet? The dedicated subnet which we already created. Remember? A caps, B caps, he picked up. And last, the IP. Kumar Bastion host and public IP. Because tomorrow when I left my organization, the new admin get to know this Bastion host, this public IP is used. Some relationship should be very clear. And review and create. So now you see my one VM done, second going on, and third deployment, Bastion host also going on. Let's deploy this VM. And then I'll show you both the VM differences, and then I'll show you how to do the secure connection. First, land into Jumpbox into the prod. So if you see my two VM, one is running, one is creating. The first VM, if I drag it, I got my public IP. Second VM, although it's deploying, but public IP is none. So now, if I do RDP MSTSC 104.42.26.125, that's my first VM prod. Sorry, the Jumpbox VM. You see, second VM is also done. So first land into Jumpbox. So now if I do CMD, so you see host name, JPVM, IP config, 10004. And it's not my prod VM. I do MSTSC. I can connect any prod VM after that with a private IP. This time 10014. RDP into RDP. Prod VM. And don't confused, it's RDP into RDP, Just to differentiate, I'll just reduce the size. And this VM, if I go and same I type CMD host name, this is my prod VM and 10014. This is way, jump box. The second is my Bastion host is still going on. So once it is done, I'll show you the real benefit of how to connect or how to use this service as well. Network security group, I have not told you anything. So when you do network security group, so by default, the NSG always be created based on the VM. So this is a prod VM NSG, JP VM NSG. This clearly says this NSG is attached to the VM level. How I get to know? When I go to a jump box NSG and go to the settings, it's not associated to the subnet. It's associated to the NIC card. And NIC card means it's a VM. So jump box, public IP, private IP, and it's attached to the VM. So this clearly says this NSG attached to a NIC level to this specific VM. Now, by the time this is deploying, so jump box, it's a secure way, first reach to the non-production machine and non-production to the prod through a private IP. And second is Bastion host, I told you. So what is the difference? That's a very common question for me. Is anybody found any difference between both the methods, or both are same? End result is secure, both are same, but still there is a one difference. So now you go to the prod VM and go to the connect, and there's a very special option, connect via Bastion host. And now username and password. So username, password, and you see the web session will be initiated. And good news is this is my prod VM. My CMD prompt is still available. You see 10014 IP config, same session. And as a technical guy, we need to be quick on the understanding. You see, when I do a jump box way and when I do a Bastion host, in jump box, I log in portal. Sorry, in reverse. Login of portal is not required. I never log in any portal. I log in MSTSC with one public IP, log into the first VM. From there, portal login is not mandatory. And here, portal login is mandatory because Without portal login, I cannot go to this option, connect this option. So it means bash and host need portal login. Second difference, you see my slides, I clearly mention fully managed by Azure, browser based, no public IP needed for the VMs. Here only Jumpbox need a public IP, that's okay. And here RDP used, MSTSC. So overall rest is okay. Maintenance is here Azure manage and here we manage. That's very important difference, right? In reality, in Jumpbox, I log in into the Jumpbox to the prod. So who manage the Jumpbox? We guys as admin. But Bash and host, everything Microsoft take care. You know, so some differences definitely it will be there.